Good morning. Let's talk about drums.
Nate, what's your topic? Because I have one too.
Okay, so I thought about it, and again, having a podcast called Drums, obviously the question mark allows us to do whatever the hell we want. But I was thinking about, and maybe we've touched on this a little bit, but maybe not specific stuff. Are there any parts or songs? I know we've talked about this a little bit, so it is circling back, but I don't think we actually like deep dove into it. Are there any songs that you've played on that you are like obviously extra pumped on it, and whether it's like simple or not, you always think about that part, or you think about like that song, and you're kind of like, you wonder if even anyone recognizes it. You know what I mean? Because I have songs with Amberlynn that like drummers will always be like, do that one song, right? And it's like, and it's always cool. Like there's a song that we have called Self Starter that I wrote. The whole song, I wrote that song, but also the drums on a keyboard. I think I talked to you guys about this, and I like played it with my fingers, and I was like, I can play that. That's no problem. It's really fast. Yeah, it's really fast, really syncopated. It's like, like it's this whole thing. I remember, Ben, you hit me, and you're like, dude, is that a double pedal? And I was like, that's the sickest thing. I was like, no.
That's a good,
that's a good. But anyway, so that's like the go-to of like, like it's fast, it's syncopated. Like usually that's the one people recognize. But are there any songs by name that you've recorded on that you're like, this part I'm either extra proud of, or it's really hard, or whatever it is, and you kind of were like, I just thought it'd be cool if you like named that song. So if you're a drummer listening to this, just go and listen to it and be like, oh yeah, that part is cool, or I don't think it's cool. But I just think it'd be cool if we, again, went around the room, everyone say their favorite, because I played on Yellow Card albums that obviously a lot of people heard it, but like, Amberlynn fans or people that follow my other drumming might not even know what I played on that album. You know what I mean? Because I don't talk about it a lot. It's not like I promote it. So there's songs that I play with them that I'm like, dude, this part is ripping. And like, no one's going to come up to me and be like, yo, man, that one part in that one Yellow Card song that you recorded a decade ago. Is this your
backdoor way to promote the song that you're most proud of from Yellow Card?
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm talking about.
I love it.
This isn't back door. This is front door. I'm going
besides Self Starter, is there another one with Yellow Card?
There's a song that
Nate start like he's like yeah, this one actually my whole discography
this song I crushed on this song.
I really
knocked it out of the park on this one.
A lot of mine are like super like the simplest, but like I just like the song.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, that's the ones I like. I just meant as a drummer,
sure.
I think I know one that you did, Ben. At least I have a favorite of yours.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is a nice moment. Go ahead, Reed.
I mean, if you want to, I'm bad at this kind of stuff, but yeah.
No, I mean, you're not going to say it, so I'll say it for you. It's okay. The group love song, I think is it called Deleter? I'm bad with song titles.
Yeah.
That song I think is so sick for one, the first point, and then second is just, I don't think you hit the crash or anything at all, or maybe later in the song, but there's
one crash.
There is one crash.
Yeah.
One crash hit?
Total. Yeah, one crash hit total.
God, I love that shit.
I hear that song. I always notice that.
Oh, thanks,
it's
man.
so cool.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I've never heard it, Ben.
That's fine.
And he's not going to listen to it now.
Ben, I didn't even know you were in a band.
Because you're like, I didn't even know you played drums. I thought you were just like, cool dude to have on here. Oh man!
Wait, before I go to my Yellow
Thank you, Reed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Reed. Before I go to that one, I will say this whole thing just me talking about myself.
It's like cool, Reed. I like that you like a song Ben played on, but
let me talk about the song I like that I played on. Actually, the newest Amberlynn single, High Stakes. I think I've told this story on here. When I went and recorded that with JJ, it was an old demo, and I went in and I was like, "Yo, we should mess with this." That's how it started with JJ. And JJ was like, well, dude, I don't really have a drum set here. And I was like, what do you have? And he's like, I have like a kick, snare, and like a ride. And so I was like, all right, well, whatever. This is just a demo. I'm just going to rip it without any toms and see what shakes loose. So that whole song, I did it in one take, and it's what we used that's what we used for the final.
Oh, nice.
I used no floor tom, no rack tom in one cymbal.
Yeah.
And it made my brain think so differently. Like I was like, and again,
That's cool.
I think you might not even, you would listen to it and not even think about it. But one dude commented
dude.
and he was like, yo, so sick. Nate never uses toms. And I was like, you did it.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
when someone notices, I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
That's really cool.
Your performance on that is very good, my friend.
Thanks, dog.
Yeah, it was like
that was one. What's cool is that's usually my favorite when it's like one take, don't overthink it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, and that rarely happens. Usually I don't do that, but
all the newer stuff, like I'm drawing a blank on the name. It might be the single, but it's super heavy. Like it.
Oh yeah,
like
7,
dude.
It's in like a 7 times.
Yeah.
I was actually, funny enough, me and Lou listened to it last time I was with him in the van in New York.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's sick. It's cool.
Thanks, dude.
Cool music, man.
Hey, cool music. All right, this song I played with the yellow card that I like that no one listens to.
It's like Nate. I got a topic.
I know we finally have something to we're not just going in circles. It's called Savior's Robes, and it's on Yellow Card's album. It's their self-titled one. It came out 2016.
How long have you been playing, or like how long
recording with them?
Yes, yeah.
I did Lift to Sail with them 11 years ago.
Damn, really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man.
Whoa.
Yeah, we did that one. Yeah. 10
That's
years
crazy.
11. Yeah, something like that.
Oh yeah, Nate, what else you get?
Anyway, that's it. No, that's it. I just
all your drumming is great on all the songs. I've never heard a song that you've played on, and I'm like, nah, it's okay. It's all right.
Well, dude, we're recording new music. You just wait.
Okay, I can't.
No, you've got it.
Hey, thanks, guys. This wasn't a ploy to just talk about.
Well, the next album, you should no toms. You should do that setup. That'd be so sick.
Yo, I think I'm gonna try and do stuff like that too. Like how you said, like you didn't hit the crash. Like I think just doing stuff like that's so much fun. Like maybe only doing a song where you never hit it, or there's never hi-hat. I always think that's cool too.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool to restrict yourself, because then you, like you said, you
get creative,
think differently. It also keeps you, I think we've talked about it before, but like old habits die hard.
For sure.
You always kind of gravitate toward doing like similar things because that's just what your brain wants to do, like kick patterns or like a drum fill or whatever. And I'm guilty of it too, but I try to, at least lately, I try to just like, if there's a drum kit in the corner, need to record just the way it is, I just sit down. I don't even.
That's what I just did with Lou last week.
Yeah.
He was like, "What do you bring your own sticks? And what do you want to move anything?" I was like, "Nope." I just didn't do anything because I was like, I want to think differently. I mean, it was such a different experience, but I think you're right with kick patterns, man. My brain automatically does the same shit like almost every time. So it's so hard for me to break out of it because I'm like, kick pattern, like do this.
Well, there's only many. There's only so many kick patterns you can do. But
and sometimes the kick can really get in the way if someone's trying too hard to make it like memorable. There are certain songs where I'm like, dude, if this kick pattern just simplified, it'd be so much cooler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
The kick is it is.
Self-editing is, I mean, in general hard, I think, in life, but when it comes to being creative and doing something that you've been doing for I don't, you half your life, more than half your life, you have your go-tos. And the problem is you just, it's happening, but then you, unless you really put yourself in a situation and you self-edit, like you're just going to keep doing that. So like I personally, as a drummer, I've been trying lately to make myself more uncomfortable because I want to just like push it a little more and get out of my comfort zone.
Totally.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, we could transfer that into real life, dude. Self-editing, self-aware.
That's what I'm saying.
It's very tough.
Very tough. All of it's tough. I mean, dude, every day is a struggle.
Yeah.
I agree, dude.
It takes effort.
Self-aware as a person and then self-aware as a drummer or as a musician, I mean, they kind of go hand in hand, right? But like, that's one of the toughest things I think that everyone struggles with, because like someone that that's like self-aware, you like instantly gravitate towards them. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's a fresh feeling to be like, it's the people or musicians that are just like, I'm doing my own thing. And you're like, dog, if you could just recognize that you're like ruining this, way cooler. And then you could all get along better. You know what I mean? So anyway.
Well, dude, it's like the ego and like, you never want to admit. Well, you never want to admit to being wrong.
Of course.
I mean, it's not like, I mean, but
it's tough.
Once you start doing that, I think you start realizing, you're like, oh, this opens another door into like whatever,
even like forgiveness and like all the things like that feel. So yeah.
Anyway. I also I like being, there's times where I'm like, somebody's like, dude, you're wrong. And you're like, and I'm like, oh yeah, I am. And you're like,
yeah, for sure. No, I feel you. I think it gets easier as you practice that. You know what I mean? Just really being like, I think as a younger person and drummer, I really struggle with that. Like, never wanted to be wrong. Always wanted, just really like control of the situation. And took a long time. Obviously, life stuff happens and it helps this process. But dude, the peace that you feel when you're able to just be like, I could be wrong and I probably am wrong. And then when you are, you're like, damn, I'm sorry. That feeling opposed to the other one where you're like, no, I always have the answers. Yeah. I know what's right. And I know what we should do. Like, that's exhausting and puts so much weight on you that I feel like once you're able to get past that, it's like a whole new world of just like, oh my God, it's okay if I don't do this right or I mess up. You know what I mean? It's just, but it is, especially
it's a hard environment to do that when you're recording music though. Yeah. With other people who are spilling their hearts out creatively in whatever instrument or form they choose.
Personal,
and it's hard to bridge the gap and come to some common ground.
At the same time too, it's funny that you say that, Nate, because how it physically affects you too is crazy. So like bringing it back to drums, if you are comfortable and you are loose, you're going to play better than if you're tight and like tense and like, thinking too much about it and all that stuff. It's the same thing in life. It's like, why would you want to put that stress on your body? And
dude, it's so true. It takes over your body. It's like anxiety and all of that stuff. It's just when you're holding on and always this, like, it produces nothing good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so.
Well,
dude, I mean, looking in my den right now, I'm getting in my own.
You look.
But even what we're talking about, dude, I just feel like that's where I've been like heading for so long of just like, and obviously people have spoken into me.
Yeah.
But like the people in my life that I've looked up to so much are that, you know what I mean? Sure. They're confident in who they are, but they're not like this hard line, like I'm the coolest, I'm always right, I know everything. Like the smartest dude in the room, quote unquote, is usually the people I want to go the furthest from, because there's no room for like mistakes or peace or grace or anything, because it's just like, I know, you know what I mean? Like there's a difference between confidence and like on self-aware and arrogance. And I think that's the people that I'm like, oh, pass. You know what I mean? And surround yourself with people that, anyway.
Yeah, but sometimes being the person in the room that doesn't say anything is just as impactful as the person that's trying to be the loudest. You know what I mean? Listening is so much tougher than giving your opinion. If you think about it, in a conversation, everyone has 100%. Something to say. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's the hot take of 2025. Listening is it, dude.
Yeah, everybody's
talking. Less talking.
But Reed, I was going to ask you, when you were doing like gymnastics and stuff, like what did you ever find yourself at times when you were maybe stressed about a competition or something like that, and that feeling affected your performance, but then maybe there was a time where you weren't and you like crushed it? You know what I mean? Was that like a big part of it, or?
Reed's a machine. He's like, no.
Yeah, I know. Reed's a machine. Yeah, he's like Captain America. But I mean,
no, it's a good question. I have to go back because I mean, it's been years since I was competing in gymnastics, but I would always get nervous before any event. I mean, there's 6 events in men's gymnastics, so you have 6 moments where you're sitting there. Yeah, 6 chances to fail.
Just so everyone knows, Reed was like, I mean, dude, in my eyes, it was like Olympic level, tumbling and all this crazy shit. I mean, Nate, you can back it up too.
I've seen it, like all the videos and stuff.
Anyways,
I mean,
I was for a period on the junior Olympic team, and on the way to, I was going to go compete for college.
No way, I didn't. Okay, all right.
Do a scholarship, but then I broke my back before, so I had to stop.
That's so gnarly.
But hey, I mean, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have had any career in music. and
that's crazy.
do what I did. So hindsight's 2020 for sure.
Did you bring any of that into your into drumming? Did you I guess the mentality or
I was always regimented and I would go deep. I mean, I had drum lessons with Mr. Dave Grohl. But I went back and I found out. So his last name was Dix, Dix.
No,
so
it David wasn't, Dix. Dude. David Dix.
So David, if you're listening,
sorry about your last name.
You're the man.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Old double D, David Dix.
Dude, that's a tough one.
He was the best, though.
That's a tough one.
But so getting drum lessons regularly and learning the fundamentals and being able to read music for drumming and all that. I went deep into that stuff for a long time. So I was always very just regimented in when I practiced, how long I practiced, what I was actually learning and doing. So that I definitely pulled from gymnastics, just having the discipline and having these habits of practicing, conditioning, all that stuff. But look, no, I would always get nervous before an event. It just, that never goes away. And especially if it's a more national competition, the nerves just go up. And I would listen to music a lot just in between routines and just sit down with my Walkman.
Coldplay?
What were you listening to?
I actually would listen to Rush of Blood to the Head and Radiohead.
No, but that's the thing though. That was usually you would think, I don't know, whenever I see a basketball player listening to music,
you think you're listening to hip hop or metal. Dude, I'm so opposite of that. I will go jog, try and run as fast as I can, and I listen to jazz, chill jazz, and it's because I realize it's a breathing thing for me. I'm calmer.
Sure. Yeah.
Even if I'm doing literally, I go work out or whatever, and I'll row. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, here's my playlist," and it's metal and all this stuff. And mine's literally chill jazz because my breathing. It's it instantly calms me. Yeah. Well, it just helps me because if not, I'm your heart rate's through the roof, and your heart rate's going to be through the roof anyway because you're working out.
For me, I can focus more on what I'm doing, my breathing, everything else. If I'm hearing heavy metal music or hip hop, you're more focused on the music and less on just getting ready mentally for whatever you're doing.
100%.
So I would listen to a lot of more chill stuff for sure.
Same.
Yeah. Does that answer the question?
I mean, it does. I'm just always curious because performance and stuff. It's such a
fascinating.
It's a fascinating thing. It's you don't you can't really prepare for it. You know what I mean?
No.
It's we practice as bands and as members of a band. You can practice in a room with just the band for as many times as you want, but as soon as you get on stage, it's a completely different scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, now that we're talking about this, I am thinking about a moment in Savannah, Georgia. I was competing in regionals, nationals, sorry. And this was going to determine if I made the junior Olympic team. And it was pommel horse at the very end as the last event. And I was one of the last people to go. So at that point, everyone was watching me. And I was so damn nervous. If I had fallen one fall, that would have been it. And I would have done okay, but I wouldn't have made the team. So I remember that moment. You're standing there, you're ready to go.
Here
judges salute you. And then you just and then I remember just starting and just everything else melt. Yeah. It was so stressful. But as soon as I started, it just melted. And I ended up doing well, and I made the team.
Of course you did. Yeah,
that was such a nerve-wracking moment.
And the crowd goes wild.
Wait, I got a question. Wait, why do the judges got to salute you? What is that? What is that?
Well, you have to wait because you have to wait till they're ready.
Here they are.
It's not that salute.
Captain America.
Wait, because you have to when you finish, you have to land and then you bow, right? Isn't a thing?
Yeah, you bow. You put your arm up.
Gymnastics
you don't do
wild,
the two-arm thing the women gymnasts do the two arms. Men usually just do one.
Dude, watching you do I guess is it pommel horse?
Pommel horse.
Pommel.
We've talked about this. We've every time Ben's pummel.
And I always I know pummel isn't the right word because pummeling.
It's pommel horse, dude.
POM.
Okay,
Not PU.
Okay. Anyways, the horse.
The horse.
I've seen you do the horse, and
you've seen Reed do the horse.
That you could have chose different wording there.
Who's on his OnlyFans,
dude? It's great.
Oh no!
It's crazy. It's just crazy to me because that more than anything else, dude. Like, because dude, honestly, you can sit down. I mean, there is skill to learning to play drums, and but dude, doing that kind of stuff is so gnarly, dude. Like, you have to be like so strong to do that.
Now, like being on both sides of it, though, it is similar to playing a show. Like, I would still get nervous before going on stage at times. Maybe not as intense, but.
Well, it's a shorter burst. It's like you have to like how long is your routine? Like a minute?
Yeah, I mean a couple minutes at most.
Yeah. It's just like Now that I think about it, gymnastics is wild, dude.
It is crazy.
Wild. What's funny is Reed talking about that and that feeling and that energy that like just floods your body. Like it's funny because I could get still like nervous at a big show or whatever. We're like, well, the show's gonna be sick. But you have multiple other dudes or any members with you. Yeah. And I always think about that. The last time I felt like just personal, like solo pressure or that, type of energy, it's been so long. Like, I think, you know what I mean? Like, I guess a drum solo by myself would be the last time where it's like all eyes on you. That's why I always think solo performers are like so special. Yeah. Because I like, it's gotta be
comedians,
wild.
Like doing stand-up
or even like
crazy to me.
Yeah, like solo hip hop or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, even like, not to just, I just think about who's the biggest, but like Taylor Swift, I always think it's such a crazy thing. Everyone just wants to see her. Sure, she has backup dancers. Sure, she has a band. But it's like you walk into a stadium and it's just like everyone is staring at you. And I think it's such a crazy thing, that energy and that feeling. That's why I always am so impressed by any solo artist. I'm like, you just have to have the thing, or sports, dude. I think about that solo sport specifically because even basketball or football, like obviously the quarterback is like the focus, but you're in a stadium full of 70,000 people. But at the end of the day, you still have all your other teammates with you. But solo sports or music, it's like nerves of steel, man.
Yeah.
It's like
gymnastics is very much an individual sport. I mean, you watch the Olympics and there's definitely the team part of it where
but it's still individual,
but it's very beyond the Olympics though. I mean,
they should make a pommel horse where like 5 dudes can do it at the same time.
That's
just like a big ass horse, dude.
Yeah. Just, oh my god,
he's getting pummeled.
It's going off the rails.
Okay, yo.
Wait.
I love this.
Wait. I want to hear Ben. I want to hear which songs you're proud of doing.
There is one song that comes to mind. I'm not like I'm bad. I have imposter syndrome, like
same. We all do.
Like, so bad. I mean, no, you know what I mean. Like, I also here's the thing. I think it ties into why it pushes me to just always get better at what.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I just never think I do, which is like kind of dark. But I'm never like hell yes. I'm always like, no, you can push harder. You know.
Yeah.
That being said. There is one song, and I was actually listening to it last night because somebody brought up the album. It's not a very well-known album. It's a group called the Neverly Boys, and it's
oh damn,
Dave Siddick is a guy that Group Love has worked with, but I've also worked with personally. He is a producer. He produced he was in TV on the radio. He produced a bunch of stuff.
I love TV on the radio.
Yeah. He did a solo thing with one of his friends, Daniel Lidinsky, who's a Swedish songwriter. And they invited me out to Sonic Ranch outside of El Paso to play on the album.
When was this?
This is during the pandemic. So oddly enough, it's funny. I was in Atlanta and I got a call from Dave, and it was middle pandemic. So I was like, I can't fly out there. Yeah. I have to drive.
I have to drive to give you COVID personally.
Dude, I drove 22 hours straight.
Oh my God. Gotta be, but during the pando, everything was fine. You're like, this is nice.
Very little
do
traffic.
Anything else?
Well, it was like, it was a bad idea. It was, I'll never do that again. The last like 2 hours of that
you were like punching yourself in the face.
It was like no, it was the psychedelic. It was like legit. I was like, it's just things were just blurring and whatever.
That's not good.
That.
Anyway, so I get out there and played on a bunch of the songs, but the one song I put on it's called "Never Come Down," and it's
look it up.
So simple. It's literally the same. It's the same drum beat basically the entire song.
But sometimes that's the coolest, dude. I love that.
Well, it's just there's something about that song and just I've always grabbed, like, ever since I started working with Dave, he kind of made me rethink how I feel like personally I think drums should be played.
Yeah.
So that's like cool. That's a good example of like simplicity, but also just it makes me realize for the longest time, when you're younger, you're like, we all wanted to just
rage,
play a bunch of drum fills and like, show off and stuff. And now I'm, when you get older and as you, progress as a player and whatever, you I guess as a listener to music, I focus more on the song now. And I don't want to be distracted by any certain part. I like just being able to just fall into a song and like really like enjoy the song. So that's a good example of like that song is a good example of that because I really love all the production on that song. And that's cool. So I'm very proud of that one. I like that song a lot. So
I'm going to jam.
Yeah. Reed, you go now. Hey, I will say before Reed goes though, hey, I was listening to Drunk Kids last night because I was like, oh, which song did Zach Bryan post about?
Oh, dude, yeah.
That song is so good. And then I started deep diving on the rest of that EP, and it's so good, man. You guys really were like,
thanks.
I was like, damn, I haven't listened to it in so long, just because I don't listen to music anymore. But
me too. I think he might be the single person that brings back Tall Heart, dude.
I mean,
old ZB, dude.
Y'all should just hit him up, be like, yo, do you want us to open? We only need like 10
No, you should be his band. You should how crazy would that be?
We only need 10 grand a night, dude. That's it. Cinchy. Yeah, but yeah, dude, all that stuff is so good. It was also like felt a little bit ahead of its time to me. Like it sounds still so cool right now, and that was so long ago. I always think that's cool when you can go back and listen back. Damn, they were doing something that feels like it could come out now and everyone would just be like, this is sick,
Thanks, man. I actually, after Zach Bryan posted about it, I did go back myself and listen to some of that stuff and had the same thought. Just, maybe I'm biased because I did it, but I still feel like it holds up well.
All that stuff.
Y'all's promo pictures are sick, dude.
Wait, Reed, who did that? Did you guys do that yourself? Did you record it yourself? What?
So that EP.
Let's tell
it's called Bloodlines.
Yeah, what is it? It's Bloodlines, and the band is Tall Heart.
Tall Heart.
One word.
TALLHART.
Yes.
It's a Game of Thrones reference. We were reaching deep because we had to change our name from Marksman to something else, and we had
I remember
a lot of issues. I hate choosing band names. It's like my most hated thing. Yeah, it is the dumbest thing ever.
I have a question after this, but yes, I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, at that point we self-released an album at that, it was called Sister of Mine. That we did like all on our own. We had our friend Gib produce it and record it. But then afterwards we got signed to Equal Vision's imprint, Rory Records, because of Max Bemis of Say Anything. He advocated for the band. We got signed and we recorded that EP, Bloodlines. We did that in Tampa, mostly on our own. We recorded drums with Tim McTague at 717 Studios.
Oh, that's right. At his house,
downtown
right?
Tampa.
Oh no,
downtown
that's
Tampa.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
So we did the drums there, and then everything else we did at Red Room Studios, and that was in Tampa as well. But yeah, we pretty much. Tim contributed production ideas and whatnot. And a couple other people did also, but it was mostly on our own.
Everyone go check it out. It's very good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm still proud of it. And yeah, I think a song from that. Yeah, I would say it's a song called Brooklyn's Burning. I like the song a lot, obviously, but the drum parts on it are a little more unique or just something I wouldn't have normally done. I had to kind of dig deep because that was a weird one for me for a while, just trying to figure out what parts were best for it. It's a more unique drum beat, and maybe it's a little more busy at certain points, but it's not like simple, like you were saying, Ben, because I would try to do that when I could, but
yeah.
I think I'd have to choose that one.
Well, it's also not for. I mean,
busy doesn't just be bad too. Busy can be tasteful. You know what I mean?
The simple thing isn't. It doesn't always need it. It's just. I mean, every scenario is different. So it's like. I mean, there's definitely times where it's not. I'm not saying like dream theater, but like like stuff where it's like.
what's I always forget his name, like a dick, but drummer for Death Cab. What's his name again?
Jason McGurr. Yeah,
like his stuff. Like sometimes he's so busy and it feels like overplaying, but then you're like, yeah, but it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not my style or how I would play. Sometimes it can bother me if I'm being honest, but when it's the move, it's so the move. You know what I mean? Like it just fills the space in such a cool way. You know?
Well, I mean, I come from a world like, I mean, growing up, listening to a lot of hip hop. I mean, I just it gravitated towards the groove of things. But I don't know. You look at somebody like Reed's teacher, Dave Grohl.
No, Double D.
He wrote like, I mean, we always he wrote like drum hooks, like fills, like, and like, all the beats on Nevermind are what you learn when you first start playing drums. It's not really like
it's
the
like
craziest
simple beat,
thing, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just like, dun, 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 like that. All that stuff is like,
rhythmic,
so simple, but it's so hooky, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a fine line. I love Busy. There's albums and songs that I like the drumming is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But it's just not my personal. I don't really play like that. I can't.
Same.
I don't really. I mean, can't play like that. But
when I was just last year, or damn, that was this year, when I went up to LA to like write and record and demo with Yellow Card, and we went to Feldman, and it's funny because I don't consider myself like a studio drummer.
Yeah.
But in those situations, if someone's like, "Yo, like we want to hear this or this or this," like I play the way I play, and I could try and push myself as much as I can. But it was funny because he was like, "Oh, I'm feeling like this, like give me some of that Travis Barker, like splash hi-hat ding thing," and I was just like,
I'm out.
My brain it's just like, that's not, my brain doesn't even work like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all that stuff is cool for him, but all of that stuff. It's like, so it was.
I would have been like, yo, can you reference literally anyone else?
Yeah.
It's just, I can't, it's my brain.
Hey, what I'm thinking is we have the soundbite for this episode right here.
Yeah.
Well, me just going,
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's just weird when you're not that style of drummer. It's like I don't even think that way, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so in that moment, I was like, this is going to feel so not authentic, and it's going to feel so hokey to me, because it's just not how I play at all. So I gave him a couple, and I tried to but I feel like it was just like it just feels so poserish when you're like,
the classic
play like this.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
Can I give you one more?
Yeah,
before we move on.
See, Reed, I knew you'd like this topic.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's making me think. The other one I'm proud of doing, and this one's like just a fast as hell song. It was hard to do. I was actually scared when I heard the demo and I had to record it. It was a Say Anything song on the album Hebrews called Boyd.
Yeah.
And it's just so fast. And it was so,
I think we talked about this one. There's like a crazy,
I think we did on the fast chat.
Punk beat at the end, right?
Yeah. Or maybe I did on here. So sorry.
That kind of beat. Like,
yeah. It's really fast. And it's just not what I played growing up. So it was pretty intimidating, but I'm happy I got through it.
There's nothing like that initial stress when someone sends you a demo that you have to play on. You're like, shit.
You hear? Oh, dude, especially when the person, like, what we've talked about this before, especially when like it's a program made by somebody else.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I'm not an octopus. I can't, like, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's hard with Max Bemis of saying anything. Like he writes some crazy stuff. He's got just
we know
Unreal Mind.
I've heard the songs, dude.
Yeah, like his way of going about writing and just mapping out songs is truly unlike anything I've experienced with anybody else. And
like time you get changes and stuff.
Oh my gosh,
I always hit him with so how close do you want this to be to the demo? Like, so how? Yeah, dude, this demo's sick. So real quick question.
Yo,
what if I can't play any of that?
The funny thing is when you talk to somebody, they're like, "Oh, dude, don't worry about what I programmed." Like,
and then you get in the studio,
and then you start doing something, and then they're like, "Yeah, man, that's cool, but can you play what
100%?"
And you're like, dude, I don't think I can do that, dude.
Yeah, you're like, hold on, let me tape a stick to my other foot to be able to
my forehead. Yeah. You know what's funny though, the studio thing too, as a drummer, like there are guys that can be chameleons, but at the end of the day, drummers do have their thing. So like even the guys that play on like a ton of stuff, like say Josh Freese and whatever, you can still sort of hear him in his playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, so that's why they hire him though. Like it's kind of weird to hire someone in a studio and then like try and curb all the things that make them who they are as a musician and a drummer. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, I'm okay drummer, but to be like, all right, now play like Travis Barker. I'm like, wrong dude.
No,
like
wrong guy.
If you want me to like try and get like, if you reference something that was closer to my style or like, give me like, I get excited when someone's like, what would Girl do here? Or what would like Hawkins, like anything like that I get, and I just named like the only two dudes. But it's like, it's that vibe of like, then I'm like, or Jimmy World, right? If you're like, try and do something like Zach would do, I'm like, all right, I could do that. I could put on that like hat, but when it's like something that's so not your wheelhouse, it's so tough. You're just like,
it is hard.
Okay. But dude, even recording with Lou, that was so much fun, by the way, because Lou is, the most chill. He's like, dude, whatever. This. Let's just have this be fun. But it's a different style than I normally play, and it's always it's the style that I would enjoy to play, right? Just like kind of rock and roll. But the kid I played, like bandanas on every head. You know what I mean? Like so, and I had to play really quiet.
Yeah.
And I quickly, at first, I was like, damn, like this might be tough for me. But then I got excited to be like, all right, let's really like change the way I think. It was really fun because I was able to like, there's a couple little things that I did that I'm really proud of. Again, real simple. You know what I mean? None of it you're going to be like, how did he play that? But like I had an idea and Lewis and Aaron were super pumped on it. So I think it's fun to like push yourself and try different stuff. But that's why when anyone's like, even Maddie will be like, dude, it'd be sick. We're playing like I probably can't say what we're playing together, but we're doing a festival this year where Amberlin and Memphis is playing. He's like, he's like, you should learn a song. And I was like, dude, I can't play any of that stuff. The Jake, the drummer for Memphis, has like 2 kick drums.
Yeah, he's got
1,000 toms. Yeah. Like, but I'm just like, it's so syncopated and so metal that I'm like, or whatever you want to call it. Like,
it is a different
I just
part
can't.
Of your brain you're using.
I'm like, dude, I could maybe, if I practiced every day till the summer, I could like.
I don't know. I don't think that's true. I think you could. I think it would be quicker.
That style's tough.
Yeah, you could do it though.
I mean, dude, it's the same thing when I filled in for Manchester. Like Tim and I are completely different
wheelhouse.
No, but dude, I mean, I guess, but if you actually really listen, he's a completely different drummer, and
definitely different.
Learning some of that stuff was really interesting because I was like, oh, I don't really like, my brain doesn't think like this.
Yeah.
And there's certain subtle things that like, really actually do make the drum part of that song unique and also, it be its thing. So learning some of that stuff was pretty, it's difficult. I mean, I get double bass is a completely different world, but
that would take
I think you could do it. I think you could do it. I want you to do it because I want to see it. And also, you got to be surrounded by all that fire he was talking about. And
oh my God, yes,
that was so funny, dude. I loved that he was pyro for Amberlin would be
dude,
so
pyro
funny
for Amberlin.
Are you guys gonna do it? Did he convince you?
It's so expensive, dude.
Not a chance. I'm trying to feed my kids, not burn my eyeyebrows off.
I like how he was like, if we got to spend like 15 to 20 grand, I was like, come again, dude. I was like, for fire, dude.
I know.
He's the most bougie person I know, and it's the best.
I mean, dude, because dude, touring now, a lot of people don't realize is way more expensive than it was even just 5 years ago. And it's tough when you got to make choices. And it's like, I mean, you can't always have a fire, and
it's why having more money doesn't automatically equal. If anything, I think it pushes you further away from
100%
art because you can just buy it. It's like you don't have to like get creative. You don't have to think about anything. It's like you just consume, and then that's it. That's that. You know what I mean? And it like pulls the art and the creativity out of it. If you're just like, it's like when rich people just buy the craziest, most expensive cars, but it usually lacks. It's like, I love when like someone, celebrity ever drives some old beat up thing.
Yeah.
It's like so much cooler. Like even if it's like a good car, I don't know. I've just always gravitated more towards that instead of just like, look at all the money I have.
Yeah.
It's never cool to me ever. I'm never like, man, that's so rad. You know, I'm just like, okay, cool. You can spend a lot. Like, I don't know.
Well, I have a topic.
What you got?
So nowadays, I don't think I would be able to make a career out of music because of how different things are as far as like being known or even just self-promotion, because I'm horrible at that. And also, it's just a different world. I genuinely don't think, I couldn't.
Yeah. Like if you started now.
Yeah. If I started now, I don't think I could do it.
Well, that also goes back to like, people don't really want to do the hard stuff anymore. So it's tough to find an artist that's like, yeah, let's hop on a van and go rip. You know, it's like everyone wants the overnight thing or wants the song to pop off. They want a major. They don't want to pay for anything. They don't want to lose money.
Yeah.
And I do think even if you're down for that, it'd be tough to find another group that would be down for that. You know what I mean? And also when you get older, you're like, I don't really want to do that.
Well, it's just so much. It's also so different. Like you don't have to. It's my argument a lot of the times when like, you know, labels and everyone's like, you know, you got to do more TikToks. You got to. It's like, that's not why I started doing this. I started doing this because I want to play music, and I get that that's part of it now. But I just genuinely, I'm like, why can't the art speak for itself still? Because I feel like it takes the back. I feel like it takes a back seat to everything. And
like, well, what's your social media presence, and what do you do here, and like, are you standing out? And it's like,
I mean, even endorsements, like endorsements now, you like, unless you have like a social media follower, and it that has nothing to do with your playing, really. At the end of the day, that's what they want, because they want that promotion from that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I had that thought when I was still touring with Say Anything, and I was trying to decide what I was going to do career wise. And it was a decision of, do I just lean into music full time and tour outside of Say Anything, or do session work if I can break in, and just what that takes as far as what you guys have already laid out. Like, I just can't, I just don't have that in me. And I would have had to move to Nashville. I was like, will I actually enjoy this? And I didn't think I would. So I ultimately didn't do that, but it's just not for everyone.
No.
I've had people, especially even through the transition that I'm going through right now, just figuring out stuff. Like, people have said that, like, dude, if you moved to Nashville, not only could you do like something in the food and bev industry, but like, dude, you could play on so much stuff. But I'm like,
people say that, but when it comes down to doing it, I don't think it happens.
I'm already, without being like, oh, I'm already doing, like, even playing on Lou's thing, and then I'm playing on Aaron Sprinkle's thing in the beginning of February. Like, I'm still, and I played on Yellow Card stuff. Like, I'm still able to do that stuff without it turning into like, I got to grind, I got to go do this, I got to, you know what I mean? I think that's such a self-promotion.
No, you have a good balance, I think, in how you're doing it.
It is tough. Like, I'm not the dude to be like, it's funny because anytime I post anything drum related on me playing, like there was a few times, like a couple years ago when I was rehearsing for Yellow Card or whatever, I like filmed myself because I wanted to watch, but then I like posted some of it, and it's just like the most responses, like, you need to post more of this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I should. And then anytime I think about it again, I'm like, I'm like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
And it's nothing against people that do that.
No, not at all.
Especially if it's what you do and it's authentic. It's cool. It just felt so forced from me that I was like, I don't know. When I want to post, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Let me preface with I'm not saying that in, like Reed's saying, I'm not saying that in a negative way, because I'm just not built that way.
I'm just
I know. I'm saying just if somebody's listening, where it's like, you know, well, I do that, and it's like that. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, if it's a skill.
It's a skill that I just don't have, and I am very impressed when I go online and there's just like all these crazy videos of all these guys playing drums, or girls, or anybody really, and 100%. And you're just like you're. I think it's impressive. It's super impressive.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's just not, I don't know. I also, you know, what's funny is I sort of miss a little mystery and stuff. I miss, like questioning, like, I'm like, what is that? Or like, but everything is so in front of you at any moment now that like, a little mystery is just sort of gone. So like, I mean, it's like
having too much info and
like
content
like a
kind of
camera
removes.
on your kick foot, a camera,
stuff like that, or even just like
it's cool. But
Jordan's favorite band, Radiohead, it's like that kind of stuff where they're still like very. They do some things where like they let you in a little bit, but not completely. And
I think it's cooler.
I just like that. I like stuff like that. And I'm not saying that's definitely not the time we live in now. Like that's the complete opposite. But I don't know. I think for me personally, it's just not something I see myself doing, and I just don't know if now I started now, if I'd, like I said, I don't know if I'd be able to do it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like Daniel, my brother-in-law who filled in for me, when he was playing, like he has like his whole setup with like a GoPro and stuff, and I think it's cool. Whenever he posts, I'm into it. I'm like, yeah, dude, this is sick. But dude, I could never like. I don't want to film myself. I don't want to like rewatch it. Like I will say, not to keep. We've brought up Jordan a lot on this podcast. We miss you, Jordan, but. Even Jordan,
he's not listening. Are you kidding me?
He'll post. He's so mad. He'll post stuff on occasion.
No, sorry. Go ahead, Nate.
This is the way he listens to it when he's working out because he gets him fired up. Like, ooh, but no, he'll post every once in a while like stuff of him playing, and I'm like, even for him, I'm like, dang, that's cool. Like he'll like have cool angles of like him playing with Copeland, and he does a good job of posting that. And I always watch it. I'm like, this is cool. But anytime I think about it, I also think I'd play shittier if I knew I was filming myself.
Yeah. I never did it myself. Yeah. There's moments I would see someone like Jordan post and think, man, maybe I should have done that. But
like we got no videos of ourselves to post. Like I was thinking like,
I never did it. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I could find one unless it's like some kid's cell phone in the back from YouTube or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like
there's one video or two videos on YouTube that were oh man, I feel bad. It was what was the name of the program? But it was drum related, and the guy I could think he was based in Atlanta, and it was at the Masquerade.
He would set it all up himself.
Yeah, he would set it up, and he did a couple songs. And so there's something like that, but otherwise I have nothing else to show for my touring days.
Meinl did one with me on Warped Tour playing for Yellow Card in like 2014, and I forgot about it or whatever, and then I stumbled on it like years later on YouTube. Dude, I got shredded in the comments, and it was so funny.
Yeah,
because it was like, again, going back to the last couple podcasts, whenever you jump in for a new drummer, you're automatically pitted against him. And me and their old drummer could not be further apart. Like I was like, I'm going to play it like the album, and he would see every song as like his current time to solo. Yeah. So like fans expected that, just like new shit, and he would change the verse every time or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm playing it like the album, so whether you like that or not, but people were just like,
matter. It doesn't.
And again, I was so into like hitting hard and headbanging, so that was like a big part of my thing. People were just like, "What's this idiot doing?" And I was like,
"Dude, I had some comments on that video I mentioned on YouTube."
Never read the comments, dude. Never read.
It's okay. I mean, I agreed with some of them. I played too fast on one song, but it's okay.
But that's the thing, though. So that's the other argument I have too, where it's like, you know, people can film a show now, and it's like things are just not like, they're not sacred to the moment, and it's weird because even if the song is faster, who gives a shit? There's performances that I've seen from bands back in the day that I love. The song is ridiculously fast, but in that moment at that show, it was probably so sick.
It felt right.
You're like,
energy
hell
was
yes,
right.
this is so sick. And like,
for sure,
it'll never be like that again. I don't like going to a show and it's just like the band just basically plays the album perfectly, like front to back.
Yeah.
Like when I could just be like, I could listen to this at home. I want something like in the moment to like, you know, give me like a special, you know, in that moment performance or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like when you have a click though and you play and it feels so slow.
Dude, so slow.
Because your adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah. Dude, the amount of times we've there's a handful of songs we don't play to a click still, and most of them we do, but the ones we don't, I'll go back and like sometimes I'm like, damn, that's a lot faster than I'm ripping. And also to me, I'm like, I think it's cool. It doesn't bum me out because I'm like, dude, whatever. I mean, in the moment we were just fired up and like, that's just how it is. And it's funny because you go down in the comments and people are like, who's this bozo like playing like drums or whatever.
Fast.
Yeah,
I think for Amberlynn, we always I personally like I agree to some extent for sure because sometimes I'll be at a show I'm like, well, that was way different or they changed that up or whatever, and I do think that's cool. With Amberlynn, I personally am like, I want it to be like as dialed as possible, and then to me, the element that changes a live show is the in-between of songs. We took us a long time to realize that because when you go see a show, it sounds really good. You're like, cool. And then in between the songs, like, all right, this next song's called this. And then you go to the next song. There's like, thanks guys. This next song's called this. I'm like, like we're all here together. And so I love the in-between songs when it feels like this. Like on this next tour, we're all going to have mics and all just talk shit. And that's what we kind of started doing when we were doing the residency shows in 2022. And it's like, I think you have this idea of professionalism. It's like, you got to be dialed. Like everything's scripted. It's like, dude, I love the in-between when it's just like, what's up? And you're just like, what do you guys want to talk about? Like, I think it's or it's funny or it's like lighthearted because no one ever walks away from a show being like, what's sick? They were so professional.
Yeah. Like, who's the best at that? Blink-182.
I love it.
Tom and Mark, just their banter back and forth.
They're playing
it's a little much, but
it can be much, but it's fun. Like that's part of the experience, though. You go to see them just talk about insane things.
Yeah, and it just breaks down the whole, I don't know, lure that like we're all so serious, we're playing serious music. Because again, Amberlynn doesn't have like goofy songs. Like Blink-182 has goofy songs, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah. But I like when I go see a band that's like just a rock band or more serious or whatever, and then in the in between, you see their personality, and they're just like, "What's up?" Like I've always walked away from shows like that being like, "That was so much fun," because it just felt like a live thing. The music sounded good. It was played to a click. It was dialed, but it wasn't like sterile, and it was just very like, I guess boring.
I like
in
it.
A sense,
I like dialed too. Sometimes I don't know. I just have like a weird fantasy.
You're punk rock, dude.
No, just like a fantasy of like just back in the day. Like my mom saw the Rolling Stones at Madison Square Garden, like
sick.
and like I think it was like the 70s, and
man,
dude, the lights were on, and they like just there was it was just a band playing in a room, and
that's awesome.
There is a side of that too. There's like a romance that I like too. I guess it really obviously situational, but because I agree with you, Nate. There are times where I'm like, I like when it's dialed, and I go to a show and like transitions are tight, and even if there is no talking, there's just like crazy stuff in between songs.
It's just unique.
It's just unique. It's cool. Yeah.
I agree with you.
All right, we're about your favorite time. Your favorite guy. The new man.
What?
I don't know. It's like the last one. I was like,
Lil Lou'll Do Ya.
Now it's time for a Lil Lou'll Do Ya.
How's it going, everybody?
Live from the streets of New York City, we have Lou. He's back.
Lou at Lou Moves You, Drums Podcast official sponsor.
Yes,
there it is.
Yeah,
I want a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one. Hey, what's up?
Oh, it's a Hard Rock logo.
It'd be so funny. We start selling your merch on our side too. Just like it becomes like a full partnership.
Lewis is going to be the only one in this deal making money. We're not.
There's just absolutely no money to be made. How's the episode going so far today, fellas?
It's great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
Very well.
What do you got? What do you have to bring to the table? What's
my hot take is merch. I'm obsessed with it.
Okay.
Yes, this is my take. I got my El Mariachi beanie on. If I go somewhere and I like the place, Nate, you know this, King State, I'm getting the King State hat. If I go to a coffee shop, I'm like, oh, let me get that pizza. I have so much merch from local places, and I'm just like, if it's merch, I'm buying it. That's my.
So we should do drums merch.
We need the drums merch. I will do.
I could design
whatever I
something
can.
awful that would be so sick.
You might be the only person buying, but hey, at least that's somebody.
We should do a collab shirt. A Lou Moves You drum shirt.
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah. What about just Lou Moves You drums? That's just straight up Lou Moves You drums. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sponsored by LMY. You know, I just start sponsoring everything. I'm like Reed with his, you know, his financial investments. It's like sponsored by Lou Moves You.
That would be so sick.
Yeah,
I think merch is in our future for sure. I see at least the hat. We could do like 30 hats. Just sell them out.
Got to do the hat. Yeah. And it's like, you know, custom, like not custom. It's a limited edition. There's only 50 hats.
Once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
I have a question for you on that. So
sure.
if you go to a show and you're going to buy merch, do you wait till after the show or do you buy it before and then you're stuck holding it?
You wear it all.
Question. Oh, just pop it on.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like with merch, like I'll be at a show, like I saw like Pearl Jam recently, and I'm like, I'm digging the show, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just go buy a shirt right now. All of a sudden, I have like socks, a backpack, and then it's like Nate even saw my Pearl Jam backpack. He was like, is that custom made? I was like, so then I buy the backpack to put it all in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's strategy to your
that's a good call.
Yeah,
because you buy the bag, the bag. The water bottle, you can put beverage in the water bottle. You're thinking about it. Not just
now local show. I'm doing it probably at the end, and I'm probably kind of drunk, and I'm like, or not drunk now, but I'm like, you guys are so good. What's going on over there? And then I'm like putting the shirt over my shoulder, and then I'm leaving the shirt in the bathroom or something. But big shows, I'm looking for the bootleg merch outside. Like, you know, the guys like, yo, $20. You want this shirt? I'm like, how about 15? They're like, 18. I'm like, no.
Like, okay, fine, 15.
There
I think you like the deal. I think you like the deal too. I just don't think it's the merch. I think you like wheeling and dealing.
100%. I care. I'm there for like chit chatting. Apparently. My whole life is just conversing. That's all I want to do. And then there's different things that's, you know, destroying my life because of conversing. Booze, spending all of this money. But yeah, I'm a big merch fan.
Do you keep, go ahead, Nate.
Well, I was saying I will go to like a bar or like a coffee spot, and if they have cool merch, I'm like, I like pine over. I'm like, and then when I get it, it just stays in my drawer. I never wear it. Like it's because I stick to the things that I like, and it's like I rarely wear stuff like that unless it's like a hat. Usually I'm a hat dude. If it's a sick hat, I'm like, I'll wear a hat for sure. And I have like 1,000 hats, but like shirts, man, I just don't do it. And every time I buy it, like an hour later, I'm like, why did I buy this
for like $50?
Yeah. And that was actually related to my next question. Do you keep or do you actually wear the merch if it's clothing that you buy, or do you end up like giving it to Goodwill or whatever else?
100% to Goodwill. Like 100%. I got like it ends up in a bag and it's thrown away. I never wear the merch.
No, Lou, you buy the shirt and on your way home you stop by Goodwill and you don't
dump it off.
Put it in one of those bins.
I got to tell you a funny story. At least I think it's funny. I was like driving or walking around like this neighborhood in Orlando, Winter Park, where I used to live, and I'm walking and I see this like this girl that is definitely like a lady of the night, right? And she's like, you know, she's got no shoes on, and she's like, you know, she's coming up to me. You could tell she's like wanting to offer her.
I got merch or services.
Listen, she's telling, basically, she's like, hey, what do you think about? And I'm like, I'm looking at her. She's wearing my band's t-shirt.
No,
she's not.
Dude, you do sponsor everyone.
I swear to you.
Which is for the listeners, Gasoline Heart.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sick. A streetwalker just repping Gasoline Heart.
Wearing the shirt, and like the shirt was like two vampires, and it said, "Look up, baby, you're bleeding." And I'm thinking,
what?
Where did she? That's what the shirt said. Where did she get this shirt? I started thinking, did she find it like at a thrift store?
No, she's a fan.
She's like, no, I got it out of your closet like a few months ago.
I like how I never once thought she was a fan, because obviously no way. I have no fans.
She walks up to you and then she's like, no, you sign this?
I am thinking a band member traded the shirt for some services.
Oh my God.
Oh
no. Rules. Next time you see her, she's got a hat, the koozie.
I love that. That's the possible logic in your mind. It has to be that.
It had to. It had to have been that. Am I making you guys seasick with just like walking around and pacing?
I like it. It's very good.
All right. Well, guess what, Lou? This is great.
All right.
We'll see you next time. Love you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man.
Peace out.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey.
And we're back.
Thanks for listening.
Hey.
Another one in the books.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you,
listener.
Thank you, listener.
We appreciate it.
We're so excited for you every week to hear this.
Get ready for new merch dropping soon.
New listener, we'll do one of one.
Custom stick bags.
All right. Until next time.
Wait, what were we going to say? Oh, you just wanted to wrap it up? Is that what
I was just saying?
Talk about?
Yeah, thanks for listening. Reed's like, what was the thing you wanted to say?
Yeah,
this is stupid. All right, love you guys. See you later.
All right, bye guys.
See ya.
Bye.